Hello and welcome back to CityLine. I am thrilled to have Will Nuff and Lisa Werner with Tacoma Solid Waste here to talk to us a little bit more about recycling in Tacoma. I know I am a new Tacoma resident, and so I'm going to learn a lot more about what I can and cannot put into my recycling bins. I think we'll start first with Will. Again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We are getting ready to open a lot of gifts, hopefully this holiday season. Can we put wrapping paper into our recycling bins? Is it recycling? All those gift wraps, all those bows?
No, so that's kind of everybody thinks it's paper, but it has a lot of things within the paper that aren't recyclable.
Like glitter?
Yeah, and the little foils and some of the plastic coatings that are on there, so it does not qualify as your standard recyclable paper.
Gotcha. What are some of the most, common contaminants that you find in those bins when they come to collect? Where or what, is commonly found?
Yeah, so we have probably the top 4 items that are often found in our recycle bins that we don't want in there is going to be pizza boxes, which food stains in the oils and the paper is not what we want in there.
Gotcha.
It doesn't work well with the recycler. Plastic bags, no bags that gets tangled up into the machinery that we have for sorting. So just want the material in there loose, clean and dry is kind of the part of the line that we like to talk about. Also, styrofoam is not something that we accept in the curb, but we do accept it at our recycle center. And then glass bottles as well, which is also an item that is recyclable but not accepted at the curb.
Gotcha. But is accepted at the recycling center.
That is correct.
Absolutely. So that's great. So again, busy this holiday season. Lots of packages coming. Lots of boxes. Can't quite fit it in my bin, right? How can people get extra recycling? Does it cost more to get extra recycling? Maybe even kind of temporary, different times of year. You need more, you need less. How does that work?
Yeah. So with the recycling, there is different size containers, but it doesn't cost to have different size containers for the residential collection. So you can add another container if you like, or have the larger containers that come in 30, 60, or 90 gallon sizes. But typically most folks have the 90 gallon size, and we encourage them to get another one. Also, if you don't have the room, say, for another container at your location, you could take it to the recycle center. So your extra recycling, always you can bring it to Lisa down there at the recycle center and drop it off there as well.
Okay, fantastic.
And there is no charge for another container. It's just you can add one on.
That's fantastic. And you can add one on and then maybe take one off and add one on and take one off depending on times of year?
Yeah, so you get one free exchange per year.
Gotcha.
So there would be a fee if you did it multiple times.
Right, but once you're good. Fantastic. And so we talked a little bit about, what do I do with my glass bottles this holiday season? Maybe some styrofoam from, packing materials. I can't put them in my blue bin. What do I do with them?
Yeah, so we have satellite glass stations around the city. There's one in the north end, and then there's one in northeast Tacoma. There's a couple in the south end, and there's one on Hilltop.
Okay.
So we have some satellite stations for the glass that you can take those items to, and then also at our Transfer and Recovery Center at the recycle center, they have the ability to take the styrofoam there along with the glass.
Okay, perfect. So one-stop shop.
Yeah.
I like that. That's perfect. And I've heard rumors that there's a recycling coach.
Yeah, so there's an app called Recycle Coach.
Okay.
Which is kind of a good tool. You can has a little ability to push in a question. Is this recyclable? And then you can type in whatever that item is, and usually it'll kick you back with a pretty clear answer as to whether that is recyclable or not. And then also through the Recycle Coach, you can kind of register your address, and then it'll also give you the opportunity to see your day of recycling or garbage or your yard waste pickup. So it kind of gives you those other tools, and you can set it up with a reminder because sometimes I forget to get my garbage out, and now I got my phone telling me that I need to get it out there. So
I love it. That's really smart. I appreciate that. And Lisa, you're with the recycling center.
Yes.
Would love to hear, again, a little bit more about the recycling center. It's like, again, kind of that one-stop shop for everything.
Sure. Yeah, we take the same things that you take curbside, the paper, the cardboard, some of the containers, but luckily we take a whole bunch more of products.
Okay.
So we'll actually take styrofoam, we take glass, we take holiday lights, we take wires. So if
even if they don't work?
Yeah,
or especially if they don't.
Absolutely. Yeah, this time of the season
a lot of lights.
Yeah, it's probably quadrupled.
Yeah,
but we get them all year.
Sure.
And we take more of the plastic containers that you don't get in the curbside. Gosh, we also take those like produce containers. So that's kind of neat to, as long as you have them clean and dry, we'll take those. We take 3 through 7 plastic. So even some of the larger pieces of plastic that you would not be able to recycle, we take, because we have different vendors.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And we talked about, Christmas tree lights getting recycled, but you also recycle trees or unthought, and decorations that can be dropped off.
Not the decorations necessarily. If they have that triangle that has a number in it, anywhere from 1 to 7, if it's got the triangle on it, then we can take it as a plastic. And we also take metal. So the only metal that you can put in the curbside is cans and tin, things like vegetable containers. We actually take small metal. So if you have a hot water heater or hangers or any type of a metal broom handle, we'll take those things free of charge.
That's fantastic. And you will take those free of charge December 26th?
The trees is the 26th through the 14th
of January. Of
January, right. It gives maybe 3 weekends.
Not February 14th.
Not
so
February.
If you leave your tree up too long,
right.
then yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to bring them in and actually take it across the scales, but it's going to take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to just drop it right up the recycling, and then you can go ahead and go about your business.
Right. No, that's fantastic. We've talked a lot about just what's recyclable, what's not recyclable. We talked about holiday wrappings and things. Can you talk a little bit about what's not accepted in terms of holiday wrapping at the recycling center?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. There is some holiday wrap that would technically be recyclable, but it's so hard for us to determine what is and what's not. On everything that we accept is vendor driven, and so the vendors assume it's not recyclable. So if they see that beautiful, colorful paper in there, they'll actually contaminate the whole load, which will contaminate, and we'd have to throw away actually good recycling. So. Some of the reasons is that the paper is generally too thin and has too much dye in it. And again, like Will was saying, there's glitter or flecks of microplastics, things like that. Even the bags that you'll get that may be paper, it's the handles that aren't recyclable because they're often coated in plastic or they're sisal, so they're actually not paper. So unfortunately, we have to just consider all of that stuff non-recyclable.
Yeah. So people can be thinking about that as they're, wrapping their holiday gifts. So think about maybe using, reusable boxes or
packing paper and doing something fun with it, or some communities use cloth bags and reuse them. So and then give experiences versus the wrapping, because it is fun to unwrap gifts.
Right.
But thinking about the environment, kind of in the back of your mind. So.
Yeah, well, and I think that's a really good point, because I do think that people just assume like, oh, it's paper, so I'm going to put it in my recycling bin.
Absolutely.
And so it's, as we're getting ready to do, marathon gift wrapping sessions, right? Maybe think about what are those reusable items, that we can have. We talked about some of the kind of regular items that the recycling center takes, glass, styrofoam. What are some of the more unusual items that you can bring that people might like, oh, this is just waste, I'm going to put this in my waste bin? Sure.
We don't take foil, things like that, but that is garbage, but we'll take almost any kind of plastic. Those produce things, interesting, Amazon. A lot of people get Amazon, and they have those padded kind of cushion bags. Those are actually recyclable.
That's great.
And then another thing that is not accepted in the curbside is plastic bags. Even though we do have a plastic bag ban, people still have plastic bags. And anything that's kind of stretchable versus tearable is actually recyclable at the recycle center.
I love it.
We section it off, we bale it, and then we send it to a vendor.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And can you talk a little bit about just where the recycling goes?
Sure. What's really unique about the Recycle Center is that since it's a monitored and attended center, we have different bins for all of our different recycling. So we actually ship a lot of our products to separate vendors, not just to the local vendor where they mix everything up. So we actually, we send some to, we send our paper to a different vendor, our cardboard to a different vendor. Our plastic actually goes to the same vendor as the curbside, but it actually ends up later in the process, so it's a pure product. It actually gets baled with all of the like materials, and it's actually truly recyclable. It's not just thrown away. So that's why we want everyone to be so vigilant about clean and dry, so that we can actually recycle all of your stuff.
Right.
Instead of throwing it away.
Yeah, I love it. So important things to think about this holiday season as we're getting to, ready to host parties and we're getting to, give gifts to our loved ones. Just be thinking about, where and how we're able to do that to be, smart for the environment this holiday season. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much, Will, for joining us. I hope you have a very happy holiday season. Thank you to all of your workers, who are doing that hard work all day, every day to keep Tacoma clean and safe. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.